Thank you all for joining us for this day-long adventure exploring the crossroads of ancient teachings and emerging science. As Sai Ganesh mentioned, I'll be leading a practicum on his topic, which he just concluded, on the breath and pranayama techniques to facilitate a true experience of deep relaxation and touching back into that inner quality of our own being, peace. And therefore, from there, expanding into all the other aspects of divine awareness. And it's very interesting. Sai Ganesh mentioned that I did used to work in pain and overcoming that in athletic development, and it's true, I did. And one of the very interesting quotes I picked up in that field from one of the foremost experts in spinal health and sports performance, Dr. Stuart McGill, is he said that no dysfunction in the physical body can be remedied unless proper breathing is restored. And that's not quite an exact quote, but I think he'd forgive me. I think I got close enough. That basically dysfunctional breathing causes a chain reaction of dysfunction in the rest of the body. And until we normalize breathing, nothing else can be remedied. And so this breathing that we're about to do, the process of accessing, releasing, and reintegrating the diaphragm into natural breathing, is one that is essential, not just for right meditation, not just for an inner experience, but for well-being in all parts of our body, mind, and soul. And so even though these exercises may seem simple, they may be familiar to you already, I invite you to consider them and to take them into your own practice and to actually integrate them. Try practicing these exercises every day before your morning meditation and perhaps your evening meditation. Like Shanti Rubens-Dohn said earlier, they've now shown studies that just meditating for 8 minutes twice a day significantly changes your brain. Well, practicing these simple diaphragmatic resets twice a day, I have seen to do incredible things for our physiology, for mental health, and for performance on all levels. So now let's get to it. So the first thing we need to do is just release the muscles of the diaphragm and remember how to use them. Interestingly enough, the musculature of the diaphragm happens automatically, but actually we have trained ourselves, many of us, to breathe incorrectly after years of trying to do that. When we all see the large, attractive Hollywood man step onto screen and he doesn't breathe through his belly, we all try to emulate that. Or we see the runway model walk down and she's got an itty-bitty waist and she never breathes in her belly, and we all try to imitate that, but it's actually unfortunate that we do. We need to learn how to breathe in the belly, learn to expand the belly. And so the first thing we're going to do is just that. We're going to release the diaphragm, we're going to practice some diaphragmatic breathing, and then we'll progress into some more interesting and dynamic pranayams together. So the first thing we're going to do is actually a forced exhalation, because like I said, the diaphragm works reflexively. You'll actually notice if you ever watch a baby sleeping, they breathe in their stomach. If you ever watch someone else sleeping, like perhaps your partner, they'll naturally breathe in their diaphragm. Their stomach will rise and fall naturally when they fall asleep, because the habitual part of the brain kicks back in and takes over. So we're going to try and remember and restore that natural and proper breathing through a very simple breathing technique. So what I'd like us to do together is, first we're just going to take a natural inhalation through the nose, and now just exhale slowly and methodically. Good. And now we're going to do that again together, but this time I want you to imagine that you are deflating a bellows, or that you are like deflating a balloon by pressing on it, using your abdominal musculature, using the muscles of your stomach. We're going to press on the lungs to really push all of the air out. And we're going to do that slowly and methodically until there's no air left in the lungs whatsoever. And then here's the thing, we're going to do that until you're forced to inhale. And then when you get to that point where you have to inhale, just relax. Don't try to inhale, don't try to do anything, just simply relax and allow your body to flood itself with air once again. So let's do this together. Let's inhale normally, and then exhale through the nose. And just keep pushing that air out like you're squeezing the balloon until there's no more air left at all. And then right when you would sort of cough from exertion, just relax and let the air simply flood back into your being. Now we're going to do that again, and I want you to notice that when you get to that point of the reflexive inhalation, you'll notice that what expands is not actually the chest, but is the stomach area, the diaphragm, the abdomen of the body. So let's try that together. Let's inhale normally, and then exhale slowly and methodically, and completely until you're pressing every last particle of air out of the lungs. And then when you're ready, let the breath reflexively be drawn in. Good. And now let's do that one last time, and this time put your hands on your stomach, and let's really bring our awareness to this part of the body. So inhale normally. Notice how much your belly expands. And now exhale. Feel your stomach contracting and pulling in, and just squeeze the lungs as hard as you can without discomfort, and then inhale. And relax. Could you feel that rapid and totally relaxed expansion of the diaphragm? It should happen very naturally. And if you're having trouble with this, you would practice this just a few more times until the bellows of the diaphragm just flip open naturally. But now let's try doing this with our conscious attention. So again, let's place both hands on the belly button. And actually, let's put one hand up on our clavicle, which is the collarbone here. And now I invite you to take a nice deep inhalation with me, slowly and methodically through the nose. And then exhale. Now I want you to ask yourself, what percentage of your breath went into your bottom hand on your belly, and what percentage of breath went into the upper hand on your chest? If the answer is 50-50, or 80-20, that more went into your chest than into your stomach, we have some work to do. Ideally, the clavicle should not move at all. Or if so, it would be so imperceptible that you wouldn't even be able to notice with your hand resting there. So let's try one more time, now that you know the name of the game, the exercise. One hand on the diaphragm, or just a little lower actually, the belly button, and one hand on the clavicle. And now as you inhale deeply and methodically, feel that you are like pouring a waterfall of air into your low stomach, allowing it to expand outwards, but try not to inflate the upper chest. So let's try that together. Let's actually exhale, and now inhale slowly and methodically, filling the lungs from the bottom up, as if you were visualizing water filling. Let the belly expand front and to the side. And then relax and exhale, pulling the belly button back inwards towards the spine to compress the lungs and drive the air back outwards. Let's do another breath like that. Inhale. Try and do this with a deep relaxation, that you're just allowing the stomach to move out, and then you're gently drawing it in to cause the exhalation. So now let's do this with a count. So let's inhale together for a count of 5. Hold the breath, and exhale. Let's do this again. Inhale very slowly and methodically, expanding the stomach in every direction. Hold the breath, but without any tension in the upper body. There's still that dynamic expansion, but no tension. Now relax and exhale. Let's do this again. Inhale. Hold the breath, feel the stretch in the abdominal wall, all of the surrounding muscles, and exhale. And relax completely, breathe normally for a moment, and just feel your body. Do you feel a little more relaxed than you were before? Perhaps even a little more rejuvenated. This helps to oxygenate the blood, this helps to cue the nervous system to relax and to be aware rather than to be stressed and anxious. Very helpful before meditation especially. And most of us probably are familiar with breathing techniques, and yet this simple effort of diaphragmatic breathing is so effective, isn't it? Well worthy of our attention before meditation and during any stressful moment in our day. Hriman mentioned that when you're at a stoplight, practice that sambhava mudra and move into that state of stillness and listening. And you can practice diaphragmatic breathing then too. In fact, the convenient location of your seat belt will provide the proprioceptive feedback you need to determine if you're breathing in the belly or in your chest, because that's where the strap lies. So now Saiganesh mentioned that proper breathing is not just action of the diaphragm, though that is the foundational element of it, but he also mentioned the powerful effects of the nadis in the spine and the left and right nostrils. And these are very impactful indeed. And sometimes it's actually interesting to note throughout the day if one side of your nose is perhaps more clogged than the other, because they do have different energetic qualities, and learning to balance them helps us to balance and be very effective in the use of our energy and will throughout the day. So just as an example, let's practice this for a moment. Let's just plug the right nostril with the thumb. And now just take a normal inhalation like we were doing before into the diaphragm, expanding the belly. And let's exhale through the left nostril. Now just to contrast and compare, let's flip and we'll practice Vishnu Mudra, or you don't need to if you don't want to, but you can hold up the pinky and ring finger of the right hand and the thumb. Now close off your left nostril with the two fingers and let's inhale the right. Hold the breath and then exhale out the right. Now just ask yourself, could you feel a difference between the two sides, left and right? Was one side easier than the other? Well, interestingly, that's not always the case. Perhaps you'll find in the morning you favor one nostril, or perhaps at the evening you favor another. Or if you become particularly stressed or anxious or things like that, it will change throughout the day. And it's actually can become a very useful tool to assess your own inner stability. Ultimately, we want them to be balanced, to be equally open and free. So now what we're going to do is explore how to do that, how to balance them through a timeless and very practical technique called Nadi Shodhanam, which is simply the alternate nostril breathing. And this is a very powerful pranayama that is designed to balance these two currents, that we have the upward rising, energizing current, and we have the interiorizing, softening, and relaxing current. And this Nadi Shodhanam helps to balance these two. Saiganesh mentioned in his talk that there is pranayama techniques for energizing the body when we breathe primarily through the left side. And there are relaxing pranayama techniques when we breathe primarily, or excuse me, I actually flipped that, when we breathe through the right. But for today, the best Swiss Army knife technique, the biggest bang for your buck, is Nadi Shodhanam, because it incorporates both of these. We get the energizing effects of Surya Beda Pranayama, the solar breath, and we get the calming, interiorizing, relaxing benefits of Chandra Beda Pranayama, the lunar breath. So, and it is actually literally just a combination of those two pranayams. It's a combination of the solar lunar breath into a single pranayama technique. It's actually very effective. I've practiced it daily before my meditation for years and found it to be very helpful. So to practice this, we will create the Vishnu Mudra, if you're able to do that, which is just to tuck the first two fingers down against the palm of the hand, and then we'll place the thumb against the right nostril, and we will alternatively plug the right nostril and then hold both by pinching both sides of the hand together, and then we'll release the right by opening the thumb. So I'll walk us through this verbally, and I think we'll have just a dandy time doing it. So let's sit up straight, let's close the eyes, and let's practice, like Riman was saying, that Sambhava Mudra of relaxation and listening. Gazing outwards into the spiritual eye. And now let's enter into our practice of Nadi Shodhanam, not just as a breathing technique, but as a means of balancing our inner energy, of balancing vitality with relaxation, willpower with receptivity, dynamic energy with bliss. So let's place the right thumb against the right nostril. And now, actually first, you can release the mudra. Let's practice the one reflexive exhalation first. So inhale normally, and then force the exhalation out slowly and gradually, until you're about to inhale, and then allow the breath to simply come in of its own accord. Now let's place the right thumb, exhale for me, place your right thumb against the right nostril, closing it, and now let's inhale through the left nostril for a count of 4. Hold both nostrils closed, and exhale out the right nostril now. Inhale through the right. Plug both. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold both. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Let's inhale for 5. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale for 5. Into the diaphragm and belly. Hold the breath with relaxation. Exhale through the left. And again, inhale. One full practice is in through the left. Hold for me. And exhale right. We're halfway through one repetition now. Now let's inhale on the right side. Hold the breath. Exhale left. That's one complete circuit. Let's practice again. Inhale left. Hold the breath. Exhale right. Inhale right, slowly and methodically filling the belly. Hold. Exhale. Let's try a practice of 7 now. Inhale. Hold the breath and relax, surrender. Exhale right. Inhale on the right. Hold the breath. Exhale left. Let's practice 2 more rounds together, but now at your own pace. So inhaling, holding, and releasing on the opposite nostril, moving back and forth like a game of tennis. But do this with deep relaxation. Then let's see if you could expand into a count of 9 or 12 or perhaps even 18 or 20. But without any tension, only as far as you can go with complete surrender, relaxation, and perhaps most importantly of all, a sense of enjoyment. Holding the breath, without my count, so at your own tempo. And we'll conclude our practice after you exhale through the left nostril. So complete whatever circuit you're on. Finish by exhaling through the left nostril. And then let's hold the body still for a moment. Relaxing the tongue, gazing up and through the spiritual eye. Let's hold the body still. Let's look and listen. And now feel the natural flow of the diaphragm with the breath. Feel its relaxed and graceful movement, like waves effortlessly rolling in and out on the ocean shore. Notice if you feel any change in your physiological state, perhaps in your emotional state, mental state, and perhaps too in the spiritual state if you feel a little bit closer to peace, a little bit closer to joy. hope you were able to feel the incredible power of pranayama together today and the power of the breath to change your consciousness, to reinstate the natural vitality and relaxation that is your birthright into your body and into your consciousness. Thank you, friends. It was a pleasure to practice together. God bless you.